Hey, welcome to Constructive Influence, where innovation meets infrastructure. I'm your host, Kim McCain, Director of Business Development for TW Constructors. And today we're diving into one of the most evolving sectors of our industry, healthcare construction. And my guest today is Tom Bahr, Principal and Healthcare Architect at BSA LifeStructures. And he is here to talk about what he learns on the front lines of designing the next generation of healthcare facilities, from flexible patient care spaces to AI ready operating rooms. Let's get into our conversation and welcome to my guest today, Tom Bahr. So I'm joined by my special guest, Tom Bahr from BSA LifeStructures. He is a principal over at BSA in healthcare architecture. How are you today? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Great.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. How's your summer been going, Tom?
No complaints, at least not from me. I have two daughters, 12 and 9, and my 9 sometimes complains, but it's all in good fun. Just went on a
Does
float
she
trip
not
this
like?
weekend on the Merrimack River. Yeah,
Really? Yeah, I can tell you've been in the sun, got a little tan.
just a little bit. Yes, putting on more sunblock as I grow older. Just trying to protect my
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah, trying to be responsible. I feel you. I feel you. So just enjoying the hot summer sun. But we are always talking about healthcare construction. That is the line of work that you're in. And obviously, I'm in the construction business now. So before we jump in to get your perspective on the things that are happening in that world, I just want to set the stage for the conversation today. So, with some current trends that are shaping healthcare construction, there's the growth of outpatient facilities and micro hospitals, the increasing use of modular and prefabricated construction, and technology integration from AI assisted design tools to automated building systems. Now, these trends are transforming how we approach healthcare builds, both in terms of speed and quality. So, let's start with what you're seeing right now. How are today's healthcare facilities being designed differently than, say, 5 years ago?
Great question. And those trends are definitely what we're seeing too. And really, as opposed to 5 years ago, what we're really seeing, really out of the COVID-19 pandemic, is that increase on patient-centric design and also the use of technology. I mean, there's a variety of things that we're starting to notice. Regional and even smaller rural healthcare providers are looking to make sure that they're staying on trend with and keeping up with, specifically with technology integration. So telemedicine stations and rooms, more rooms throughout the facility are needing that integration. And that's been a big trend since COVID hit the world, of course. But even on recent projects that we've seen and RFPs that have come out, full integration in these facilities are being looked at and explored and required, really. And then on the emphasis on patient-centric design, for a long time now, healthcare design and construction has been focusing on a more home-like experience, even an experience that you might see in more of a hospitality environment. But as we look at making sure that patients are really feeling and getting in that space to receive care and making sure that they're feeling valued and also that the staff are in places that they feel that they're being valued, we're making sure that family-friendly, patient-friendly, and staff-friendly spaces are just that are increasing the ability for caregivers to give care and also for patients to heal.
That's really good. Yeah, I know that lighting and everything can affect the way that people heal. That has to be taken into play when you're designing a space. So, and you touched on rural hospitals. I know that everybody is like holding their breaths to seeing how these cuts are going to affect like the rural hospital situation. Are you already starting to see some things happen in that area where people are maybe deciding not to invest in changes to their spaces because they don't know how things are going to shape out?
We're seeing a little bit of both, but we are seeing a lot of that hesitation. There are clients that we have and also ones that we've been exploring work with that are being cautiously optimistic. Some are better positioned with either funding or available resources currently, and they're looking to get some work done and even continue with projects that they've either funded or they're looking to try to progress with sooner than later. But others who are maybe not in that same position are definitely seem to be a little interested in how things might shake up. And for a while, we've seen a lot of great partnerships nationally between larger organizations and systems with some of these smaller uh,
Yeah.
rural health hospitals and providers. So we're hopeful that through collaboration and leadership that we can see, and not only in the design construction environment, but through the leadership of large organizations and some smaller ones, that we can come together and be proactive in understanding how to really come together and overcome challenges that the facilities might be facing outside of just funding. But whether it's increasing their ability to provide certain services and capitalizing on ones that they're very good at, or even see how shared resources can come into play.
Right. That's great. Yeah, I'm nervous for everybody too, but hopefully, I mean, healthcare is big. We have an aging population, so obviously we have to take all of those things into consideration. So let's
That's
talk
true.
about flexible patient care spaces. Can you describe what those look like and why they matter?
Yeah. So for a while, we've seen uh, a lot more focus on flexible care environments and spaces, specifically in patient rooms, uh, in different modalities too. So you might see in emergency departments for a while, there might be dedicated behavioral health rooms as people come in to get emergency treatment. But we're seeing more flexibility there, or even dedication to have more specific units for that. But even in medical surgery floors, med surg floors, and uh, moderate acuity type patients that might come in, having flexibility there on units to be able to treat different uh, patients that come in with different needs, and also to make sure that the staff that are caring for those patients have what they need, and that can also be flexible. It's really unique as we plan and work with current clients, and as we explore new projects around the country, to understand what those needs of their current population are, and also just see what's in the future and what trends are they seeing regionally, to make sure that they're not, well, so they are prepared to care for the current population and also be prepared in the future. So some of those
Yeah, we
things like
always.
modular systems. Oh, go ahead.
Mhm. No, go ahead. Some of the things like modular systems.
Yeah, modular systems, adjustable layouts, QD adaptable, more universal rooms. It's a big thing that we've been designing and we continue to see, as well as technology integration. I mentioned the telemedicine is being continued to be included in design of spaces that we're doing through physician offices, exam rooms, emergency departments, et cetera, all over. But really having the ability to provide the uh, the rooms to be able to connect with new technology, and also try to be as forward thinking as we can be, with AI integration now being probably one of the biggest changes we'll continue to see in a lot of markets, but especially in healthcare.
Yeah, the technology in healthcare. So, how is the push for LEED certification or energy efficiency influencing your work on hospital projects?
Yeah. So looking at energy efficient and sustainable design has always been something that, not always, I will say, but for many years now, something that we at BSA have been focusing on. But nationally too, a lot of the clients that we work with are requiring it. They might even have their own systems or their own programs that we need to uh, work with, whether it's through sustainability or energy performance, whatever it might be. And
Right.
we're really happy that the clients are leading the charge. For a while, it was design and construction that were starting to push it and realize the needs. And we see that from the clients, depending on their ability to respond to energy demands and cost, of course. And
Right.
at the end of the day, providing systems that will last and perform and operate well and save money and be better for the environment is huge. But on the interior of the building, looking at just the products that we use for better, uh, not only better performance in a healthcare environment, which can see a lot of abuse and a lot of wear and tear, we also have to be mindful of how that's going to impact the overall health of the occupants. And that's any space, but especially in healthcare, where people come to heal Caregivers are there for many hours throughout the day, long shifts, of course, with physicians and nurses and other staff. They're there. So anything that we put inside that envelope, it needs to make sure that it's not only performing well, it can be maintained well, but it's also contributing to the overall health and wellness of the occupants. So we
Absolutely.
do see that
Obviously,
clients explore lead, but there are, whether it's their own program or if they're interested in lead or or other programs to um, show that not only that they're invested in their facilities, but also that we have a way to measure and show that we're actually achieving what we want to plan for.
absolutely. So, why healthcare architecture for you? Obviously, there are so many different ways that you could use your talents. What made you want to go into healthcare design?
Sure, that's a great question, and thank you for asking it. I think a lot of people, and I'll start with this, a lot of people that past colleagues, mentors, and even coworkers now that I know that work in the healing environment. At BSA, we call it healing, but it involves with healthcare and similar markets, of course. But a lot of us have personal stories, whether it's our own personal story that we've dealt with an ailment or have been involved and experienced healthcare for better for worse. And also it might be we've had friends or family members that have been impacted. So for me personally, I've had close members of my family that um, had ailments and had to go and see physicians early in my life. I had personally, my mother's had a lot of health issues, and she has something called idiopathic anaphylaxis, where she would go into shock. She ate something or had a new medicine or something that she just wasn't aware that she might be allergic to, or it might have affected her in a certain way. So I remember having emergency personnel, EMS coming to my house whenever I was very young, and I was very scared. But it started kind of becoming kind of par for the course. It happened a few times, and I
Right.
remember going to the emergency room and seeing her in the hospital until they could identify really what was going on. So for me, I was, kind of familiar and comfortable with that. And the opportunity came up for me to participate in one of the firms I worked at early in my career to participate in their healing and healthcare studio. And immediately I saw the impact that I could have through design, creating healing environments for people that do come to get care. And in addition to that, what has really been awesome is the ability for me to be able to interact with caregivers and all of the important people that work in a healthcare environment, from logistics, environmental
Mhm.
services. There's so many people that come together to operate and make sure that a facility, whatever the size is functional and there to provide that care, allow others to provide that care for the patients. So that has been super rewarding. So it was an opportunity. I think that looking back, I never knew how it would have impacted me. But as I reflect on that personal story I shared about my mother and kind of having some of that experience early on in life, I feel like it's kind of where I was meant to be. And, in my 19 years of professional experience to date,
Wow.
most of it has been in healthcare. I have been just very happy to be able to have that experience, to be able to work in healthcare design.
What's been your favorite project, or do you have one?
There's been a lot of projects I've worked on that have stood out in my career for in different ways. Um, I would say that one that really stood out to me here in St. Louis, was able to work on a project for SSM Health. I don't know if I'm allowed to, if I can, say things, but it's a project done out in Lake St. Louis, and uh, they had an interesting need. They needed to do a vertical addition on top of an existing structure to provide more patient rooms. In addition to that, we provided other services, laboratory services, and some other things as well. But it was very challenging. And the unique part of healthcare design, in my opinion, is not every project is a brand new facility. It's not
Right.
on a green field or brand new tract of land or a repurposed tract of land. There's a lot of renovation work that occurs. And even in some of the larger facilities around the country and the world for that matter that are expanding, you still have to tie in some fashion maybe. So for this project, it was great because we had to explore all of the impact that we might make by structurally raising up the building, adding on top of it, uh,
Uh-huh.
phasing the whole construction, as you're probably aware of in construction, where you have to understand how are you going to actually do this project around a facility that's operating 24/7 and have the least impact to any space and keep the health and wellness of the patients and staff at 100%. So
Right.
that has been one of the awesome projects that I think really, I would say earlier in my career that I was fortunate to work on, to grow from, and to work with some great team members uh, across our region here.
It sounds like it was challenging, but in a good way.
Yes, definitely cut my teeth, as the expression is on that one.
You learned a lot. So, looking ahead, Tom, what is one innovation that you believe will define healthcare design in the next 5 to 10 years? And could it be the expansion of telehealth infrastructure? You talked a lot about that.
Mhm.
The rise of hybrid hospitals, AI integration, or advanced HVAC systems for infection control. 'Cause I know that was a big thing during COVID.
Ooh,
A lot of talk about those.
yes. Yeah. I All of those things that you listed, I think will continue to develop and provide our industry with the ability to continue to provide exceptional care and improved care. Uh, while AI is always not, well, let me retract that. AI is not always used as an answer with kind of what's going to be coming up and really help define uh, where different markets grow. But I do think intelligent, adaptable spaces will be huge, and whether that's integrating artificial intelligence to do that, um, I think making spaces truly smarter and ability for patients to be able to come in and staff be able to um, gather more data on the use of the spaces to be able to improve how we uh, not only provide services but how we help patients heal will be huge.
Right.
So I'm really curious on how we will continue as, a, as an industry to provide that, and we'll all have to come together in a certain way. And as we integrate particular technology, we'll all have to be more mindful of how to use it. If we look back in history, as there's new tools and technology that allows us to improve what we do as an architect, as we use computers and computer aided drafting, CAD, or building information modeling, of course, all these different that we've used to produce our services and our designs has improved, but it's at such an increased rate now of improvement that I think we'll all have to grow and be smarter. And instead of kind of using a technology after it's been out for a while, I think that window is going to shorten where we're all going to have to be a little bit more mindful and curious on how we can grow and use some of these technologies, and then work with the providers as they're getting new technology too. So there's a lot there. And at this, as we look at all of that too, last part of my response is I think more about predictive planning design, using data and evidence-based design to inform our planning decisions, our design decisions, and using more knowledge nationally and globally to inform what we're doing. Um, and that's all really to enhance the patient experience and the caregiver experience, in my opinion.
And working with these owners and making sure they're
Yes.
making the right decisions for all parties involved. So, if you had something to tell somebody who was developing a new healthcare space, an owner, facilities person, what would walk me through the ideal start of a project? What does that look like to you?
Well, flag football. No, joking. Um, I always like to have some humor in any discussion I have, but
As you should.
really yeah, we're all, at the end of the day, we're here to really to provide exceptional spaces to work together as a team. And at BSA, we like to be trusted partners and be that trusted partner and advisor for all of our clients. And it's about relationships. We love doing projects all over the country. And we've had great success doing unique projects, but really where we shine is really creating that true partnership and developing that on day one. And it really advances that too. But as we kick off a project, really what for me, what that is coming together and doing a smart team vision and planning session where we come together and we understand how we're going to work together, how we're going to truly partner, what are our rules of engagement, what's everyone's vision, what does success really mean? And hopefully, usually in advance of that, we all have a general idea of what does success mean? Well, creating an exceptional space to meeting the client's needs. Those are some easy ones, right? But
Right.
really, what does it mean for everyone? Is it about growth opportunities for the client? Is it about how are we all each individually going to grow? And also, what do we want? Like at the end of the day, what do we envision this project being? Like if we had to write a headline, or if we're going to do an advertisement, what does the client want to see? What do they expect? What do we expect? Like I had an
Right.
opportunity to work on a really high profile project in Chicago, in downtown Chicago, and we did a similar approach with all of the team members and the client involved and all the partners at the very beginning. And it was really unique to be able to come together and really create a charter, so to speak, about how we're going to work together. So that way, throughout the whole life of a project, we can go back to it and look and know that this is what we all discussed and more or less agreed upon. This is how we're going to communicate with each other. And that way, we eliminate the potential for conflict, for challenges and problems. And if we do come across them, we know how we're going to tackle them. And that not only creates a better environment for the whole team, it can enhance the output of everyone, the end result that we're working on, and also help with scheduling and cost, because now we've eliminated all the potential for you know additional conversation about how we're going to work through a situation. I hope that answered your question, but I truly believe that at the beginning of a project, it's about creating that environment for success. And I think
Yeah.
that has been successful for myself and then our company as we've led projects.
Yeah, definitely that early collaboration with all members of the team present and all agreeing to be on the same page. And like you said, if you do it at the very beginning and if you get off track, you can go back to what you decided on before and say, nope, this is what we said we were going to do. Let's stick with that. We already ironed this out. We have something to refer back to.
Exactly. And at least you have that as a framework because things do change. There's,
Yeah.
especially in long projects, if you've been part of one, it's,
Yeah.
it might be multi-years. So things do change. So you do have to be open for growth and also doing lessons learned and doing a quick plus delta. We use a lot of uh, lean lean thinking and lean methodologies throughout our design process and as we work with construction partners and other industry partners. But it's all about continued growth and continuous improvement too. There's times where maybe things aren't working. We think it's going to work. We can go back and say, well, this is what we talked about, but let's
Right.
explore something different. Or how can we, um, this is all malleable. So how can we make adjustments to continue to improve?
Absolutely. Well, you're the ultimate professional. I really appreciate your
Yeah,
insight today, Tom. Thank you so much for your insights. It's clear that the next decade in healthcare design will, in fact, be defined by adaptability, technology, and smarter use of resources. There are a lot of them out there, but we just have to use them in a smart way. So, for our listeners, if they want to get in contact with you, they can find you on LinkedIn, correct?
you can. I do like LinkedIn.
Yeah, that is definitely a place where I can
But
see you most time.
yes,
You post and everything. You tell everybody where you're going. So tell everybody what your tag is on LinkedIn.
sure. So you can reach me at Thomas Bahr, BHR. I can't remember if that's my full tag, but yeah, search me up. Please connect with me. I'd love to continue the conversation. And it's great to be able to hear what's out, what else is going on and what other challenges people are exploring and facing throughout our region and the country, especially around healthcare design and construction.
We appreciate you, Tom. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening and watching here at Constructive Influence. Until next time, continue to build better.